Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie and I'm one of the violinists of Ensemble Connect. And today I'd like to explore a little bit about the concept of historical context in music. What does it mean? How does it affect the way that we approach music, or even the way that we might perform it? To do this, I'd like to share with you a piece that I love dearly. It's The Three Romances by Clara Schumann. Now, Clara Schumann was born in the early 1800s and died in the later part of the century, and she composed this piece in 1849. She was one of the very few women composers of her time, and certainly paved the way for future women composers to come. So now that we have our historical timeline, let's explore a little bit about the lifestyle of the 1850s. I think it's safe to say that life then is very different from the life that we're accustomed to today. At the time, cars had not yet been invented, electricity had not been invented, and the telephone was not around. And to think about life without those three things today is, well, a bit frightening, isn't it? So now, it's important to also remember the function of social events. Back then, a lot of people would sort of put on house concerts as a way to socialize, meet new friends, catch up, and it was also a great way for composers and musicians to get together and perform music that they had just finished, or, a way for people to sort of read chamber music together. So I want to try something with you all. If you would take a moment and close your eyes and pretend that you've traveled back to the 1850s. You would be invited to a house concert where one of the pieces that would be performed is the newly finished Clara Schumann Three Romances. You would receive an invitation in the post, in the mail, and would respond back RSVPing to this event. Now, the day of the concert would arrive, and you'd spend quite a bit of time getting ready, as period clothes during that time were very different than today as well. You would either walk to the person's place of residence, or maybe you would take a horse and buggy. You would ride over cobblestones or roads that had not yet been paved, and you would arrive to the person's home. You might be greeted by the host. Gas lights would be hanging outside the door, and you'd be welcomed into the home where there was candles everywhere. Now, house concerts during this time were very social, so you might spend some time socializing with friends, meeting new people, and the time would come for you to sit and enjoy a night of music. There would be no announcement to please silence your cell phones. Your friends would be sitting beside you, enjoying the same music that you're listening to and being ever so present. Now open your eyes. What was that like? Could you imagine the cobblestones under your feet as you were walking to this person's residence? Could you imagine the smell of the candles as you walked into the person's home? These little things affect the way that we approach music and the way that we imagine how the music lived at the time that it was composed. With all this in mind, I'd like to invite you to a house concert that I performed with my good friend and pianist, Sam Hong. We'll be playing the first romance of the Three Romances by Clara Schumann. As you listen, I encourage you to really let your imagination run wild and imagine that you're in the 1850s, listening to a night of music at a house concert with friends and family.